Guys, we got more shifting and changing energetics going on today. We have our sun making its grand entrance into the sign of Aquarius. Simultaneously, the moon in Leo, ruled by the sun, is going to be making its first contact with the nodes now in their new sign placement for the next year and a half, 2 years, Taurus and Scorpio. So there is some energy today that is pushing us to make some breakthroughs in some radically new directions that is trying to align us with these Aquarian frequencies that are coming into the planet right now and helping us make this transition of ages into the age of Aquarius. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 20th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook for the day. First things first, I have to give a huge happy birthday shout out to my friend Crystal. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful birthday, girl. You totally deserve it. This should be a really beautiful year for you. You have not on your solar return that you have going on this year, the moon is also going to be in Leo, conjuncting your moon. So a return of the light all the way around this year, and it's happening on a Thursday, this day ruled by Jupiter. So expanded light coming in for you this year. Thank you for all of your help on my channel, getting it started this year. I love you, wishing you a happy birthday. Now let's get into the report for today. We have some exciting energetics. Well, I think they're a little bit exciting because, you know, one of the central focuses on my channel and when I look at the astrology right now is regarding our transition into the age of Aquarius. And there's definitely some energetics that are coming in today that are moving us in that direction. So let's jump into the report, you guys. Let's talk about it. As you know, January 20th, the sun is moving into Aquarius, leaving Capricorn, and there are these divine alignments going on today alongside of that are moving us collectively forward into our new Aquarian paradigm. Another thing of note, let's talk about the numerology for a second. Sun moves into Aquarius. First aspect with the North and the South node ruling destiny and karma in their new signs. And we have another 222 day going on, you guys. January 20th, 2022, 12022. 222, that has been a prominent number that has been sticking its head up throughout the course of this past few months as we've been heading towards 2022. I see it as a significant angel number at this point in time. And when that number is being highlighted, I find it to be happening on days that also have an astrological significance. So more synchronicity going on today in terms of the date, the numerology, and the corresponding energetics. So wanted to point that out as well. But we also, for the sun's entrance into Aquarius today, have to remember that Uranus recently stationed direct 2 days ago. Uranus rules Aquarius, and specifically the Aquarius frequencies, the Aquarian paradigm that we are transitioning into right now. We also have the vibrations associated with the age of Aquarius, essentially. And right now we also have Saturn, the ancient original ruler of Aquarius, in the sign of Aquarius as well. And like I said, and this is just more emphasis on this Aquarian energy, Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, having just stationed direct 2 days ago before the sun moves into Aquarius, while we also have Saturn, original ruler of Aquarius, in the sign of Aquarius. A big emphasis on the Aquarian frequencies right now, especially with the sun's entrance into Aquarius today. We also, like I said, are beginning the day today with our moon in Leo. Moon will hit the last degree of Leo, 30 degrees of Leo. We have the North and the South node currently having just transitioned out of Gemini and Sagittarius at 30 degrees of Scorpio and Taurus. And so when the moon comes to 30 degrees of Leo, the moon will be forming an exact square today to the North and the South node in their new sign placement. Remember, the moon in Leo is also ruled by what planet? The sun, which just made its entrance into Aquarius today, again emphasizing this energetic shift in alignment with these Aquarian frequencies that are going on right now. So that is Something to note as well about the energetics today in the just overall picture of what's going on, and then the moon will move into Virgo later on today, and that will bring in some aspects that we'll talk about later on as well. But when the nodes are being activated by the moon, remember the north and the south node, this is the future and the past, destiny and karma, our evolutionary course forward, what we need to release and let go of so that we can get there. The south node rules what we're very comfortable with, what we're experienced in, what we have learned a lot about, and what we've really sort of come to the end of our progression through, and we need to let some things go and move on so that we can grow according to the lessons that the north node is presenting. And when the moon, specifically ruling our feelings, our emotions, our internal environment, makes an aspect to the north and the south node, which are always in direct polar opposition to each other, this can trigger and kick up some like more fated occurrences or things. It activates destiny in a type of way and destine things that we need to let go of, as well as things sort of falling into place, or with the square aspect, specifically some type of conflict or frustration perhaps coming up that helps us sort of break through into a new path, go down a new direction. When, specifically the moon, which is a major like trigger planet for things to happen, because how we're feeling a lot of times translates into how we're acting and actions we're taking, behaviors that we're having, things that we're saying. When the moon forms, especially a more harsh aspect like the square or the conjunction or the opposition to the nodes, this is when these conflicts can arise that can push us in this new direction. And with so much Uranus direct, Aquarius now taking center stage at this point in the year, as it always does. But, as we're moving into this new energy, and of course, as we just had Uranus, its ruler, go direct after such a long retrograde period, it's a radically new direction in alignment with Uranus's radical nature. And what is that new direction exactly, aside from a radically new and different one? Well, the North Node, the path forward, our evolutionary course, the new lesson plan is in Taurus right now. This is talking about what we are going to grow, what we are going to build, cultivate, for the purpose of bringing us some type of value, comfort, and abundance into our lives. But other than the North Node, the only other planetary body, the only other planet right now that is in the sign of Taurus with the North Node is Uranus. Uranus is currently in the sign of Taurus. And that means, you guys, that throughout 2022, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be taking place because I haven't looked that far ahead, but coming up here within the next several months, we are heading towards a North Node Uranus conjunction. And what is that? That is the future path, the North Node, what we're evolving into, our new lesson plan, corresponding, running right into, colliding with the planet that rules the age of Aquarius and these Aquarian frequencies and this paradigm shift that we are undergoing right now. This is the year when it's really going to happen in divine alignment by aspect. So we have that pending now that we have the North Node in Taurus, also Uranus direct in Taurus. The North Node is moving backwards. Uranus is now moving forwards. They are on a collision course, which is going to represent a destined alignment with these frequencies on Earth, the transition into the age of Aquarius, what this entire past year has been preparing us for. And today, 2 days after Uranus stations direct and the nodes also changed sign, 2 days, remember in our year of 222s just flying around everywhere, and the moon in Leo ruled by the sun, which is in Aquarius, which is also the oppositional sign to Leo, and simultaneously making that first contact to the nodes in their new sign placement. This is breaking us through some stagnancy and creating some type of forward movement, forward motion, unblocked progress towards this new direction. this new path forward that is in alignment with this grand universal rectification that is represented by the incoming age of Aquarius that we are transitioning into now. And speaking of breakthroughs, breaking through something, it's also interesting because we have Mercury retrograde today, located at 7 degrees of Aquarius. Again, an emphasis on these Aquarian frequencies that are being like highlighted today by the sun's entrance and all of this other stuff that we have going on that I've been explaining. Mercury retrograde is at 7 degrees of Aquarius. A child is seen being born from an eggshell. And remember, the moon will move into Virgo today. This contact is happening at 30 degrees of Leo right before it enters Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And so Mercury's placement is important throughout the day today as well. And with Mercury at that degree, that is also talking about mental breakthroughs, mental rebirths, a whole new version of understanding and perceiving things, a new lens through which we are understanding and perceiving reality. About it, also new understandings, like I said, about things just generally that we are finding out at this period of time with Mercury retrograde as well, indicated today by the placement of Mercury at this degree in Aquarius. We also today have Venus at 13 degrees of Capricorn. That Sabian symbol is a fire worshiper, meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. Venus today, ruler of Taurus, where the North Node is, talking about coming to some new conclusions about things based on some very deep meditation, pondering, and really processing and reconsidering and just like coming to these new conclusions, these new revelations based on this meditative process. That is what Venus is talking about today in regards to our North Node position and also what's going on with Uranus today in her sign. We also have Mars today at 28 degrees of Sagittarius. That Sabian symbol is an old bridge over a beautiful stream. So Mars talking about crossing a bridge energetically. Mars rules our energy body right now as well. So rebirth, the child being born out of the eggshells, revelation, the fire worshiper, again, the fire worshiper speaking to the sun and the sun's entrance into Aquarius today, meditating on the ultimate realities of existence, and Mars at a bridge over a beautiful stream, crossing bridges today as we have aspects pushing us towards and aligning with the incoming Aquarian frequencies and Aquarian paradigm that is like very much so pending. Like we are really preparing to step into it. And that is what this 2022 year is really all about. Things are breaking down right now and assisting in this process, though. The flip side of this building energy is a necessary destruction that we will simultaneously experience throughout the course of this year. Things breaking down right now are assisting in this process, and destruction is the other side of creation as represented by the Taurus-Scorpio axis. Taurus is all about building and creating, and Scorpio is a lot of times about, that death and rebirth process, but also destruction and loss can be associated with the sign of Scorpio as well. This axis is really representing that creation and destruction dynamic that is just going to be present over the next year and a half, 2 years, as we have the nodes transiting Taurus and Scorpio. And we can expect extremes in both, honestly, as these are fixed signs and they both can have a tendency to take things to an extreme, especially on the Scorpionic side, as this shift plays out and the new frequencies, these new Aquarian frequencies, begin to gain the strength in our reality. Remember, with Uranus in the sign of Taurus right now, which is what we are going to be building. We're going to really be starting to build and create based on our own internal resources and a newly discovered sense of self-reliance going forward. And with Uranus there, these things are going to be very much based in that authentic personal creative self-expression, that authentic truth and the freedom to cultivate that potential and to harness it and to use it in this building process. And on the flip side of that, really letting go of a lot of the power and control dynamics that have existed within our lives, and just some really deep purges in terms of like our psyche and our emotions and the way that we surrender power or deal with power generally, as really ultimately what this period is trying to do is bring us back into a much more appropriate understanding of our own internal power and the relationship that we have to it. But things, going forward this whole year, it's pretty apparent, but also moving forward into 2022, anything that is out of alignment with authenticity and truth is just not going to make it through this realignment that is going on right now. Universe is taking what was never meant for us and replacing it with what always was. And again, this period of time is likely to be marked with some destruction, some loss, and a lot of difficulty, but everything is happening in order so that things can be aligned in a way that is ultimately more conducive to that process of, cultivating our inner talents, gifts, potential, and beginning to really use those and align with them as we go down this new path and begin to create and build in conjunction with who we truly are and what we were always meant to do. Destiny being activated is really represented through this as well. A cosmic purge and realignment is happening now, and it likely won't be easy, but it will be worth it, just like literally any other birthing process or process of creation. It's never an easy, fun time when we're birthing something new, but at the end of the day, it's always worth it because of the value that we gain through that process and the experience and the self-empowerment and all of that. That is what this really all boils down to. And, this sentiment is sort of being reflected by the position of the Earth today, that we may be navigating some more difficult things, especially with the square going on from the moon to the nodes. This is moving us forward, but it's as a result of conflicts arising in some type of a way. And we have the Earth today at 1 degree of Leo in opposition to 1 degree of Aquarius. And that Sabian symbol is under emotional stress. Blood rushes to a man's head. And so we really want to try to stay grounded today and not allow our emotions and our issues to sort of get the best of us or to cause us to act or behave in a way that is not really how we want to be representing or conducting ourselves or our energy at this point in time. The sun at 1 degree of Aquarius, the Sabian symbol of that degree is an old Adobe mission. And that is telling us really, especially with all this nodal activity going on in the North Node in Taurus, that what we are in the process of building and creating right now will represent lasting value and it will stand the test of time. And we need to have faith at this point as we go through this and follow divine guidance, our personal, authentic, creative passion, desire, and inspiration. That is how we cross this bridge into this new world. Tuning in and trusting our faith and our intuition right now, because we're in this Mercury retrograde energy in the square to Uranus, is sort of like a rare period of time where it is really outweighing the benefits of our logical mind and our logical analysis. We don't have all the information right now. We're not seeing the whole picture. Things are confusing. Nothing's really making sense. And simultaneously, we're supposed to be starting to build. And relying and tuning into those soul urges and that intuition or the divine inspiration or what you're feeling passionately called to at this point in time, even if it's not making the most logical sense, is still a path that is worth examining, because God is really in charge right now. We're in a cosmic rectification at the moment, and things are trying to fall into place, and there's so much divine guidance coming through that it really behooves us to at least consider it and, give it some weight juxtaposed to our normal mental cognitive faculties right now, because our mind is not operating in its highest capacity, but our intuition and our gut instincts and our like ability to connect and receive divine guidance are. And so that is the direction that our inner compass is a very viable tool at this point in time, and we should really be tuning into it and trying to follow that and not allowing like negative thoughts to interfere with that process, or people's doubts or what people are saying or thinking right now to interfere with like any type of inspired passion that we have to go in a certain direction or to follow a certain hunch or whatever. The spiritual guidance is very profound right now, and the mental faculty is not. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. Let's see. So yeah, we need to have faith, follow our divine guidance, and follow that personal, authentic passion, desire, and inspiration. That's how we cross this bridge into the new world at this point in time. So a very clear message coming through today, you guys, in terms of the aspects and the degree placements for this cosmic blueprint and where it's really trying to take us next. And on a final note, I want to say today, after the moon moves out of Leo, the moon is going to be moving into Virgo. What is in Pisces right now? Well, we have Jupiter at 5 degrees of Pisces. So that means that throughout the rest, after the moon makes the square to the nodes today, the moon is going to begin moving into an opposition with Jupiter. Now, two things that I want to say with this. Number one, remember Virgo, where the moon is moving today, is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is retrograde and is in that square, although the square is definitely widened by now, but is still in a, square to Uranus, and that is the energy that is representing this Mercury retrograde process anyways, because Mercury went retrograde in exact square to Uranus. So we really want to be careful with all of the Mercury retrograde stuff today, for sure, especially before reacting emotionally to something or getting emotionally involved in a situation. Miscommunications, misinformation, misinterpretation, misspeaking, not communicating effectively, not understanding things properly, plans being messed up, technology failing, travel not working out, or like travel issues like messing or interfering with itineraries and schedules and all of that. Very likely today when the moon goes into Virgo, and over the next couple of days as well, although this is likely to be expanded today because of the opposition that we have going on with Jupiter as well. With the moon coming into the opposition with Jupiter from Virgo to Pisces, this is also really expanding our emotional body and bringing some hope and faith and optimism, as well as we reflect the opposition on inspired ideas, divine guidance, intuitive hunches, spiritual awakenings, all of these things that I've been referencing earlier, and how we can, with the moon in Virgo, practically apply them to our lives now, where we're at, with Mercury and Aquarius and Virgo being highlighted as well, create solutions in some type of way, solve some problems, or just help us prepare for the direction that we are going to be moving things going forward. Although now is definitely not the time to be making any type of big decisions, any type of, like big purchases, big decisions, big commitments. This is not the time where you want to be doing this. Because, Mercury's retrograde in square to Uranus, things are going to be falling into place, and there is going to be so much more clarity. Things are going to make so much more sense after Mercury goes direct and comes out of his shadow period. And we'll also have Venus direct as well. We'll have all the planets direct after Mercury is done with the retrograde process. So definitely something that we just want to keep in mind. No big decisions right now. And although this is definitely a more uplifting and inspiring aspect with the moon opposing Jupiter and should assist us in staying positive today, remember the degree placement of the earth under emotional stress, blood rushes to a man's head. So just remember not to let overblown emotions, another indication of the moon and Jupiter in opposition, color your judgment today, or make you sort of like speak before you think, or take any type of harsh verbal action perhaps against someone, or take something really personally, emotionally that is not what it appeared to be. Let's try to stay grounded in our emotions today and not let things really get to our head unless we're really truly sure that we are understanding things properly. So that is basically what I have for the astrology today. We have another pretty significant day in our blueprint moving us forward in this new direction towards these Aquarian paradigms being represented in a couple different ways today. Definitely some breakthrough energy, definitely perhaps some more difficult energy going on today. We want to keep our emotions in check. We want to make sure that we're understanding things properly, that we're communicating clearly. But we are also really wanting to align with these higher aspirations and all of our creative potential and really begin to start cultivating that, because we are in a building period now. And once we get through these retrogrades, we are going to be moving forward in that direction. So we really want to be using this energy to think about all of the various ideas and options and ways that we could make it go, and really just channel some divine energy and some divine inspiration in conjunction with a multitude of possibilities at this moment, with, the moon in Virgo, also ruled by Mercury direct in Aquarius. Mercury in Aquarius is a problem-solving energy, especially also with the square to Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, again, the rectifier, this problem-solving energy. So there's a lot of divine intervention sort of happening today, pushing us in certain directions that are best suited for us going forward, as universe is really trying to align us all with our individual destiny so that we can truly activate that going forward, because that is the only way to truly experience our ultimate form of fulfillment. And the greatest gifts in this world is when we cultivate our inner gifts and serve them to others, and then we can receive in a mirror reflection of that which will truly genuinely make our heart and soul happy, and allow us to truly live the best experience and create the best experience for those around us that we can. And that is another aspect of the age of Aquarius energy that we're moving into. So that is what I have for the energetics today, you guys. Let's talk about the tarot cards for a second. We've got a very interesting message coming up from the tarot today. When I was shuffling the cards this morning, asking God to clarify the energy of the collective, we got 3 cards coming out, and it was interesting series of cards. Number 1, we got the Ace of Swords in reverse. This is talking about not seeing things clearly, not understanding things properly. Mercury retrograde specifically, ideas being inverted, communication not being upright, like just generally confusion. And this is a very strong reference to Mercury retrograde. Logic is not clear when we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. The second card that came out was Justice. And that is what is happening right now on a galactic, cosmic level. There is a grand rectification going on as we move into the age of Aquarius, and justice will prevail. That is a message that is that has been pretty clear from the stars as we've been navigating this year and moving into next year as well. And then we got the 4 of Cups in reverse. Now, the 4 of Cups upright, this is a card about not acknowledging spiritual gifts, spiritual guidance, opportunities that are right in front of our face that are literally falling into our lap, refusing to look at them and not taking advantage of them. But when it's in reverse, this is talking about the opposition of that, seeing these opportunities for what they are and embracing them and trusting our intuition and taking chances and things that come to us and that fall into our lap, not pushing it away. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Temperance card. So, when we put these cards together, the Ace of Swords in reverse, Justice, the 4 of Cups in reverse, and then Temperance on the back of the deck, this is really saying that hold on, where's the right card? First of all, we need to not be making decisions right now, and we shouldn't be making decisions, and we're not making decisions because there's this mass state of confusion and logic just really isn't clear at the moment. But what we are doing and what we need to be doing is trusting our intuition and allowing things to come to us and not turning our back to them and not pushing away intuition and spiritual guidance just because maybe perhaps it doesn't make logical sense. And what is this process doing? This is allowing justice to prevail and the scales to be balanced, things to be tempered, things to come back to a proper balance and alignment. Don't make decisions right now. Logic isn't clear. Trust your intuition and look for opportunities. Universe is presenting them to us now, and we need to take them. Things are being tempered and rebalanced on a higher level. And our job is to trust universe, not make decisions, and have faith that justice will prevail. Faith, this card and the Temperance card is like better, bigger than logic today in this energy, logical appearances right now, just because our mental capacity, the mental energy is not flowing clearly in the best way that it can. Information with the Ace of Swords in reverse right now, sort of inverted. So that is, a pretty clear message